Appearance on Dion's Daily Dose does not imply endorsement from or by any candidate or guest. The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed by Dion Bergeron or Dion's Daily Dose are his own and do not represent the views, thoughts, and opinions of any guest. Material and information presented is for general information purposes only. The Dion's Daily Dose name in all forms and abbreviations are the property of its owners, and its use does not imply endorsement of or opposition to any specific organization, product, or service. If you'd like to support the show, please visit our Patreon at patreon.com/Dion's Daily Dose.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Saturday's edition of Dion's Daily Dose. So today, I just kind of wanted to talk about America, right? And what we've done with this country and for this country, what's been done for us. I have been to 48 of 50 states. I have not been to Hawaii or Alaska, but obviously I've seen videos and pictures, but I've personally been to the majority of the United States. I've been to cities all up and down the East Coast, the West Coast, the Gulf of Mexico, along the Canadian border. And first of all, the scope of this country really is jaw-dropping. For those of you who have not had the opportunity to really drive the expanse of this nation, it really is a humbling experience. Once you kind of get out there on the open road and you see the vastness that is the United States of America, the differences from town to town and state to state. You know, the founding fathers actually had the idea that the states would be independent of each other, but common with another, right? So common defense, they would come together, but they would each be as to their own, essentially their own country. And I don't know how many of you have actually driven from one end of this country to the other, north to south, east to west. But there are some absolutely incredible views out there. And it really is very heartbreaking to see the division that's out there now. And these cities being destroyed, just being burned, being destroyed. I'm not gonna spend too much time on the negative. I just wanted to tell you that I think it's really important for anyone who wants to represent an area to know, how that area is different from everywhere else. Michigan City, Chesterton, Porter County, LaPorte County, we're very similar, right? There's not a lot of difference between Porter County and LaPorte County, but there's a massive amount of difference between Porter and LaPorte County and Lake County. It really is a different world over there. It's very, very Chicago-y. I drove for almost a decade all over the country, and there is no hard and fast rules that you can group people into. The stereotypes don't really fit, right? Sure, the Northeast traffic's terrible, the South is a slower pace, stuff like that, yeah. But the people are individuals, and they're all over. And this country is just the things that we have accomplished in the time that this country's been around, relatively a short period, right? 1776 was not that long ago compared to some countries that had been around for a very, very long time. thousands of years in some cases. Hey, Jack, good to see you. Um, we have overcome slavery. We have overcome a massive inferiority when it came to armaments and soldiers against the British. They were the world power at the time. They ran the world. And we stood up to them and we said no more. The fact that we were able to even get our independence in the first place, right, was nothing short of a miracle. America is not perfect. No one who loves America claims that it is perfect. But I will tell you, it's the best darned option out there. It really is. And we are the last beacon. We're the last place on earth that people can go and even come close to being really free. That is under attack, ladies and gentlemen. It really legitimately is. And it's not by our president, it's not by your neighbors, the regular everyday people. That's not who's going to bring this country down. It is the people who pretend to represent us while promising things that they will never be able to deliver. The same promises over and over. We're going to do this, we're going to do that, while sinking this country further and further into debt, while pretending to give a damn about you, about me. These people don't care about us. They don't. They don't even know what it's like to be us. Why would they care about us? One thing that I want to change. And we can only change it from the inside. All these people, the constant cycle of political families, the people that raise their kids to be politicians, to carry on the legacy. We could name family after family that, we know who we're talking about. And they're all connected. They're all related. They all get their cousins and uncles and friends into this job or that job. And that's truly what we mean when we talk about the deep state. When, whether you're left, right, whatever, the deep state, all it is it's a group of people who are not acting in the interests of the American public. They're acting for either their own interests or, in their mind, a higher calling, right? And then we're not talking about serving God. We're talking about serving masters, serving people who put them into place to do the things that they want done. That's all it is. You can go down deep rabbit holes of conspiracy, but it really just comes down to people that are not working for your benefit. These politicians get out there and they start making promises, and they make this promise publicly, right? They say, we're going to do this. We're going to, let's say, lower taxes, for example, right? We're going to lower your taxes. Vote for me and we'll lower your taxes. But in the back room, when they're meeting with Eli Lilly or this corporation or that corporation or this wealthy donor or that wealthy donor, do you think that all that campaign money just magically appears? My finances are open. You can go look them up. India, what is it? Campaignfinance.in.gov. I don't get tons of money from corporations or people or any of that. It's all of this money comes from somewhere. It all comes with people, especially the large donations. For those of you who have sent me $100, $25, $5, I greatly appreciate it. And every bit of it helps. But these massive multi-thousand, $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 donations, do you really believe that these come with no strings attached? These politicians that get millions and millions of dollars in their campaign accounts, do you think that these places just freely toss this money out with no expectation whatsoever? Really? That's one of the many, many, many issues that need to be resolved in this country is campaign finance. But until we can get people who give a damn into office, things are not going to change. Yes, we can take to the streets and we can start marching and demanding change. But let me ask you this realistically, for those of you who are in favor of that, what changes would you demand exactly? What would you want changed? And more importantly, how would you go about it? How would you make those changes happen? For those that believe that certain institutions are biased towards or against a particular group, how would you affect the changes to make those institutions more fair? Give me specifics. How would you do it? Because that will have to be laid out, right, in your manifesto or your demands or whatever. Before we start marching, we have to figure out what we want. And I'm going to tell you, there's a much easier than destroying our country. There's a much easier way than marching down the street and toppling statues and burning police stations and federal buildings. There's an easier way. Get your ass out there and vote. More importantly, put yourself on the ballot. Get out there and make the changes that you want to see happen. Oh, we're tired of voting. We're tired of voting. I get it. I do. I gave up for a long time. A long time. But that's what allows these people to stay in control. That's what allows these people to continue to get elected over and over and over. Realistically, these POSs that get arrested for various things, right? Campaign issues, all this stuff, right? Do you know anyone personally who voted for these people? I don't. But the people that I count on, I'm going to tell you, the people that I count on the most, that I trust their judgment the most, my best friends. Hey, man, did you vote? Nah. Why not? Well, it doesn't do any good. Well, you're right. If half of the population stays home, you're damn right it doesn't do any good. If all of us got off our asses and got down there to those polls, it would make a difference. Because the people that mess with these elections, you can only mess with so much. You can only put in so many false votes. And it's there for those of you that are, going to claim, oh, there's no evidence of voter fraud. Aren't you tired of that line? Haven't you seen me post enough evidence just recently? The Justice Department just filed charges on a former congressman for this crap. It's insane. Walter Burisma. Yes. Dave, vote all 435 members out in one swoop. We have this chance every 2 years. Of course, you have to get rid of all staffs too. And that, my friend, is the key. Here's the thing, right? So let's just talk about Washington, D.C. just for a moment, and then I'm going to get back to the State House. Washington, D.C., all these people know each other. They share staffers. That's one interesting thing about the State House that I found out, right? When I got caucused in to run for state rep, I'm like, hey, so I know I learned the stuff involved with running for U.S. Congress. What's the staff for the State House? Oh, you don't get a staff at all? No, well, kind of. You get an assistant, but the assistant is shared with like 3 other legislators. Okay. And you get a press secretary that handles your press releases, but they're shared with like 7 other legislators. So I have no control over who my staff is? Not really. Does anyone else see that as an issue? I'm just wondering, does anybody else see that as a problem? Also, I'm going to tell you, it's not in the regular sessions that stuff generally gets messed up. It's in these committees. It's in these committees where stuff gets this way and that way and the little sideways gigs and this staffer runs it to that staffer. Washington, D.C., all these people know what's up. They're all part of it. That's why you have to clean house. That first of all, when you come into a new position, it doesn't matter if you respect the former holder of that position or not. You got to start from scratch, start fresh. And I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, I have every intention of starting fresh. Every intention. I can't control my staff, but I can control what I put out. I can control what I vote on. I can control what I publish on my social media accounts, because this is how I'm going to stay in contact with you, the voter. This is how I'm going to talk to you. I've said it before, I'll say it again. We need people in our capital that are willing and able to communicate with the regular people, not the big donors at the $10,000 a plate dinners. Who the hell has $10,000 to spend on a plate of food anyway? I know it's not about the food, but are you kidding me? These happen. $10,000 a plate. What? And these are the very people that, I won't even get into that. Look, there is massive disparity all across this nation, but it is up to us to fix it. Our so-called leaders are not going to fix this for us. It is time that we take the helm, we take the wheel. It is time to get lifelong career politicians out of office and get regular Americans into office again. We need to sweep it out and start over, because there's too many. There's just too much back and forth behind the scenes deals that are going on. And in my opinion, we need to start, I've said this before, we need to start repealing some of these laws, getting rid of some of this stuff. It is so ridiculously convoluted. It is so overly difficult to remove laws from the books compared to how easy it is to put them on. And I just read, the wife did actually, told me that apparently, and now I don't know if this is Indiana or if this is national, but apparently Congress, the mask mandate doesn't apply to them. So the very thing that these people are pushing doesn't apply to them. Like, I don't know about you, ladies and gentlemen, but I'm tired of being talked to like a child. I'm tired of being told, trust us for just a couple of more weeks. Do what we say for 2 weeks. Do what we say. How long has it been for 2 weeks? When was that again? I think that wasn't that March, right? This is getting ridiculous. Get your ass to the voting booth. Get out there. Chunk. It does, even if you don't vote for me, right? I'm not telling you to get out there and vote for me. I'm telling you to get out there and vote. Vote for the person you believe represents your interests, not the interests of corporations, not the interests of railroad companies, and yes, we need businesses in this country. I'm a Republican. Obviously, I believe in trade. I believe in business. But we need people that favor small business. Small business creates the most jobs. Small business stimulates the economy. That's why it's so infuriating with this shutdown, because so many small businesses are dying, literally dying. That's what infuriates me. It isn't about the numbers. It isn't about the CDC. Oh, okay. Thank you, Dave. That was the DC mayor, he says. Government officials, workers, and judges don't have to wear them. Good for you, but not for me, right? Good for thee, but not for me, and vice versa. It is a symptom of a much larger problem. These people, once elected, they get out there on the campaign trail and they give you all these promises. It's, oh, I'm one of you. I'm just like you. Yeah. Oh, don't worry about the fact that I've never held a real job. Don't worry about the fact that, my parents are multimillionaires and I've never known what it's like to struggle. Don't worry about that. We're still the same thing, you and me. We're the same. Okay. All right. And then they get in there. Even the ones who have worked a real job, it seems like the majority of them, not all, but the majority of them in time become the same. They think they're better than you or me. They think they're better than the rest of us. And I can tell you, my very first speech that I gave on the campaign trail was to the women's Republican group in LaPorte. And I told them this. I said, I am no better than you. I am not above you. I am equal. We are all equal. These people that get up there and want to preach to us and tell you what you have to do because they think they're better than you. They think they're more important. And it's time to change that. It's time to start electing people that realize that they are there to serve us, to represent us, to make the decisions and vote the way that we want them to vote. Chuck asked, where are you on term limits? I absolutely believe in term limits. However, I'm gonna tell you it's a slightly less popular version of the term limits thing. I don't think 2 years is enough. You're barely learning your way around in 2 years. But if you're screwing up, they should absolutely get rid of you. But on the other hand, I don't think it's necessarily terrible for people who work 10 years if they're doing their job. Here's the key. If someone is going and actually doing their job, I'm not necessarily against them receiving some sort of pension, right? No more than a decade. A decade is long enough. I think 10 years, and for senators, it's a little more difficult, right? Because they're 6 years. So 6 and 6, no more than 2 terms for senators, no more than 5 terms for representatives. I would absolutely sign off on that. I have actually said that from the beginning. I am absolutely for term limits. I support them. And here's the thing, right? Those who want to say, okay, but doesn't that go against the will of the people? Well, why do we have term limits for presidents? If you want term limits for our president, not just this one, in general, if we're going to have term limits, then shouldn't it apply across the board? We have term limits in general on most small level positions, right? County clerk, I think you can only hold it twice in a row, stuff like that. There are limits. Why are these limits in place for positions like that, but not for Congress, both on a state and national level? Where are these term limits? Why don't they apply to them? Because they make far money off of the benefits and the perks and the deals than they do in the office, right? And it's I saw something. I don't remember the exact thing, but Braun had, well, Walter, that's a good point. Congress should be paid same as jury duty. And I'm going to tell you, in general, I kind of agree with that. But I'm going to tell you, right? So here's the issue with making Congress very low flat rate, no benefits, no nothing, right? Then only the wealthy are going to do it. We already have trouble getting qualified, intelligent people to run for office. Honest people, good luck. Because as I don't remember who said it, but the only way to get rich off of politics is if you're a crook, right? You're not going to get rich off of it if you are an honest person. But if you make it so piddly, I guess, then only the rich are going to be able to do it. Because look, most people have a job that they have to go to on a regular basis, right? Let's take my buddy, for example. I actually had talked to him, Jim. For those of you who may or may not have seen my video earlier, I had Jim on for a little bit. We had a chat back and forth. He is my best friend. I've known him since 7th grade. I had actually talked to him about running. I was like, hey, man, you should do this. And he was like, dude, I can't take time off of work. There's no way that I could take time off of work to run for office because it is. It's a lot of work. It's not like you just put your name on the ballot, right? You have to get out there. You got to meet the people. You got to go to functions. You got to do all that stuff. Look, I'm all for cutting the benefits from Congress, right? Especially those people that have been in there for 30, 40 years. Get them the hell out. I am all for term limits. But we have to approach it carefully. I'm also not one of those people, though, that's going to say, oh, by all means, they need a raise because that's not nearly enough money. Give me a break. $174,000 a year plus medical, dental, vision, and all the free flights back and forth to Washington, D.C. Amazing benefits. There's no one that can tell me that's not enough money. You cannot convince me that $174,000 is not enough money for the job they do. Sorry, not gonna bite into that apple, right? But if we start talking about cutting it to the bare minimum, then the only people that will be able to do it are the ones that can afford to not have an income at all, i.e. the already rich, the wealthy. And that's where we're at. Because let's face it, that's where these people are making their money. It's off the side deals. It's off the laws. It's off these, Council on Foreign Relations, these little groups, these advisory groups, right? That write up legislation and go, just sign here. You don't have to read it. Just sign here. That's what we're up against. And until we start getting people into office, they go, give me that. Who wrote this? Nope. And more importantly, people that are going to get on the video, right? A video, for example, and go, hey, I was approached today by a representative from Council on Foreign Relations. They tried to give me this legislation. Here's what it said. Do. And I said, no, here's why. Now, that person will probably end up Epstein, right? But until we have people that are willing to do that, we might as well just sit back and enjoy the ride. We have to get people into office that give a damn. Because I don't know about you, ladies and gentlemen, but the way things are going right now, I don't want this to continue for my children. I don't want this current environment for my children. So I am going to do everything that I can to alter the course, right? And I'm doing what I can. If you ever, and seriously, those inside, outside my district, those especially that live in Indiana at all, especially if I get elected, if you want to talk to me about legislation, if you want to talk to me about important things, important to you, right? If it's important to you, important to me, because I still represent the entire state. I'm still voting for things for the entire state. Talk to me. Talk at dionbergeron.com. Comment on my videos. Send me a message. I'm the one who answers them. I don't have a staff. I don't have people. I have volunteers, of course. I have people that are helping me. I got a campaign manager. I got all that stuff. But I do my social media. And I have it that way for a reason. Because, and I've had offers, right? I've had offers from people that are like, hey, man, why don't I just take care of that for you? You won't have to worry about it. Because I want the voters to know that when you reach out, you're getting my opinion. You're getting my direct access, right? Walters, yeah, blue collars. And that's what it comes down to. We need blue collar Americans to step up, start signing up. Look, especially veterans. Veterans, come on. We need people that are cool under fire, stuff like that. Does being a veteran automatically make you a good person? No, but it certainly shows that you can stick it out, right? And that's basically what it comes down to. We have to start giving, we have to start caring about America more than just the America in our backyard, more than just our little neighborhood. And in order to do that, we need to start finding people that we know would make good legislators, people that are willing to fight for our rights, people that are willing to be called every foul name in the book and challenged constantly on their beliefs. That's fine. I'm okay with that. I explain myself pretty well. But there's a time and a place when it's better to just go, okay, and let it go, right? Because some people you can't reach. There are some people that just cannot be reached. Um, and unfortunately, that's where we're at today. But we're going to get more in depth on a couple of subjects soon. We're going to talk about personal freedom. We're going to talk about my beliefs regarding our Constitution and how far it extends. But we're also going to talk about the progress of the campaign. If you would like to help, if you'd like to volunteer, email me, talk@dionbergeron.com. I'll run the, let's see, here it is. Just ignore the message that's up there. But I also, for those of you who happen to have a little extra money and believe in me, I have my WinRed finally working on my website, dionbergeron.com. Click on the contribute or donate. I can assure you that it's going to a good cause. Not waste people's money on frivolous stuff, and that's one reason why I did my yard signs myself. And Jack says, I think all offices, local, state, federal, should have a recall process. I wholeheartedly agree, because let me tell you, there are people that will lie to you straight faced, right? Not even blink, not even eye twitch, nothing, not an eye roll, right? What's the rub their nose or, do the whole, none of that. They have gotten so good at lying that they can do it just, and then once they get into office, you find out what they're really like. The things that they start voting on, the things that they start trying to make come to pass in your state. They might run as a Republican, and then you find out that they're not so Republican. Things like that. I agree with you, Jack. There should be a recall process for every single office, because sometimes people go, oh boy, who did we just elect? What is up with that, right? So absolutely can go online to my website, dionbergeron.com, or you can mail it straight to the campaign HQ. If you have it, look, if you cannot afford to pay your bills, don't send me money. I'm just going to tell you, I don't want you skipping out on paying bills to send me money. If you can afford it, I appreciate every single cent. It helps me get the message out. It helps me to get, signs and social media ads and all the stuff that you have to do nowadays in order to actually win when you run for office. But thank you once again, ladies and gentlemen, for joining me for my thoughts. And we're going to have some fun soon. I'm working on some stuff for the show that I think will make it a little better. Working on a little intro, an outro, stuff like that. Think it might make it, but I'm not going to make it long. The ones that I hate, right, are the ones that have like this 2.5 minute long intro for the show, and it's got the little banner down. It's like, here's what's coming up. Why don't we just get to that, right? Very short. I keep it short. Your time is important. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, God bless you. God bless Indiana. And God bless the US of A. I love this country.
If you'd like to support the show, please visit our Patreon at patreon.com/Dion's Daily Dose. This has been Dion's Daily Dose, hosted by Dion Bergeron. Executive producers, Sean Holgram and Michael Beebe. Copyright 2020. Dion's Daily Dose, all rights reserved.